we're gonna continue with our talk about dialectical behavior therapy, and as I mentioned in all the sessions, is that this therapy is beneficial for people with anxiety, depression, borderline personality, addiction, because you're gonna learn skills to manage stress. We call it the stress tolerance. You're gonna learn skills to be mindful, like to experience the present moment. You're gonna learn skills to regulate your feeling and not to get overwhelmed by them. And also we're gonna learn interpersonal effectiveness, which is how to manage relationship problems and how to say no and set boundaries. We finished the stress tolerance part. We are now working on the interpersonal effectiveness, which is related to relationships. Part of how to build a healthy relationships is to get to know your legitimate rights and practice them. And this is important for people who have low self-esteem issues, low self-confidence, because they tend to be mindful of other people's rights and fulfill other people's needs, and they ignore their own needs. These rights can be abused. Like, we don't want to go to the extreme, black or white. No, we want to balance between loving yourself and loving others, respecting your own rights and the rights of others. But there's a focus within these rights for people who tend to deny their own needs. So you need to know, you have a right to need things from others and ask for it. You have a right to put yourself first, not all the time, sometimes. You have the right to feel and express your feeling. We don't want to, practice emotional inhibition or emotional repression. You have the right to your opinion. You have the right to protest any negative treatment or criticism. You have the right to negotiate for change. You have the right to ask for help and emotional support. You have the right to say no. You have the right not to justify everything you do. And you have the right not to take responsibility for everything and every problem around you. And you have the right to choose not to respond. And again, these rights, we balance between respecting others and respecting yourself. Okay, so this is the first exercise for us today. Like, you try to tell me which rights you think you are missing or you are not practicing, and you need to work more on them. For people who this is the first time for them to attend the session, so what we do, I do the PowerPoint presentation, then at the end we will have a discussion, and every discussion we will have two questions or two activities that we do. One of them is you're gonna tell us what legitimate rights you are missing. Again, these are the rights. You have the right to not respond to every situation. You have the right not to take responsibility for other people's problem. You have the right to say no. You have the right to ask for help and emotional support. You have the right to negotiate for things that you don't like and you want to change. You have the right to protest against any treatment or criticism. You have the right for your opinions. You have the right to feel and express your feeling. You have the right to need things and ask for it. So you're gonna, at the end, you're gonna tell me which one you think is the ones that rights that you are missing. Okay, so this is one exercise we're gonna do. Another exercise we're gonna do today is we're gonna focus on something called the Dear Man. Dear Man is an acronym for a way or certain behaviors that you need to practice when you ask for something. So to ask for something or to set boundaries or to say no and still maintain the relationship is not easy. For some people, it comes natural. they can negotiate, they can find alternatives, they can find solution, they can practice self-control, they can express themselves. There are some people who are like this, but people who struggle with mental health problems, especially borderline personality disorder, they have difficulty doing this. So the founder of DBT, Dialectical Behavioral Therapy, she came up with this acronym. So D stand for describe, E stand for express, A stand for ask or assert, R stand for reinforce, M mindful, A appear confident, and N negotiate. We're gonna learn how to do this stuff. Okay, and why we are doing this stuff? Because we wanna ask for our own rights, at the same time maintain the relationship. This is not easy for people struggling with borderline personality. And at the end, you know, the exercise for this acronym will be, you're gonna tell us a situation where you need to practice this and how you're gonna practice. So I'm gonna explain how we practice it, but at the end, you're gonna tell us about a situation that you wanna practice these strategies and how you're gonna practice them. Okay, let's go for the first one. So these stand for describe. Okay, people who have overwhelming emotions, they have a problem to describe what they really want. Okay, so when you wanna describe something you want, you wanna first describe it internally, then put it externally. I have seen lots of people asking them, what do you want exactly? And they can't describe it. And sometimes they don't even know what they want. So when you are in a conflict with a partner or a co-worker or a family member, you need to learn how to describe. And when you describe, you stick to facts as much as you can. And try to be direct and, you know, don't engage your feeling or emotion into the conversation as much as you can. And you practice internally first, then externally. Okay, so when I describe, what should I say when I describe? Like, be clear, be specific. You want, I'm sure when there is a problem or a conflict, you want more of something or less of something, or you want others to stop doing something or start doing something. And you need to tell them when and where and how frequent. So maybe you are asking your partner, I want you to be, to stop coming late, and you want to spend more quality time with them, and you want to, especially on weekend. So this is something, you told them what you want, more of what, and when, and maybe you can tell them where and how you're going to spend the quality time, and how frequent, which is every weekend. Be specific. It's going to make it easy for others to follow what you are saying, and you appear confident when you know, and you know how to express yourself and describe what you want. You appear confident, and when you appear confident, this increases the chances that other people would agree or will accept your offer. Okay, the E stand for express, and remember, when we express, we want to use I statement. When you express yourself as much as you can, use I statement, and Canadians are very good in doing this. So I have noticed, compared the different culture when I do the counseling. Yeah, so Canadians are always mindful of doing this most of the time. So you don't wanna, tell other people, you are hurting me, you don't care about me, you are always late. Like, you don't want to tell your partner this. You can't make it, I feel scared when you are late, or I feel lonely when I don't spend the weekend with you, or I feel sad about our relationship. Like, something, start the statement with I instead of you, because the other side will become less defensive and less confrontational when you use I all the time. So again, we said describe, Describe what? Describe what is here, like internally before you express it. And be specific how, more or less, or stop, when, how frequent, stuff like this. And then express easy. Remember, the most important thing is I. A is ask or assert. Ask for what you want, or say, if you want to say no for something, say no clearly. Okay, but we want to learn when we assert or when we ask, we want to use a softening statement. So, and again, Canadians are very good with this too. I would appreciate it if you would, or would you mind if, or it would be helpful if you could. So you need to learn, and this is part of the way you talk to others. Would you mind if, it would be helpful if you could. And you use these softening statement when you request or you ask for something. As much as you can, don't tell others what they should do. Like, let's say you want a raise. Don't go right away say, oh, like, give me a raise. Okay, no, you can start with I statement. I would like a raise. Can you give it to me? So, but when you start with a softening statement like this, and when you put I at the beginning, this increases the chances that you're gonna get the raise. Don't be pushy or forceful in a situation when it is not very urgent. Like, save the big guns for something that is big. So again, describe here first what exactly you want. Express it with I statement. Ask, but when you ask, use softening statement, like, would you mind, or it would be helpful if you can do this for me. R means reinforce. Reinforce mean reward others by appreciation, by something, showing them the positive effect of getting what you want. Like, you tell them, appreciation statement, like, this is much appreciated, or this will really help me out, or this will make a real difference in my life. So the other person will feel, a reward that he is doing something big for you. And also you can use reinforcement by showing them that this, if we spend more quality time together, this will help you and help me know each other, something like this. So you show them it is a win-win situation. So try to use reward others by appreciation, or reward others but showing them the benefits, mutual benefits, or the benefits on your side and their side. Something with dear man, when you use it, be careful for blocks of listening. To practice dear man, you should be listening to what other person or other side is talking about or trying to express. But there are some barriers for listening. We all sometimes struggle with these barriers. So these are barriers for listening. These will block you from listening what the other person is saying. For example, mind reading. Some people, when they talk to others, they assume they know what other person is thinking about. So try avoid this as much as you can. Rehearsing is, when other people are talking, you just repeating in your mind or rehearsing what you're going to say next. You're preparing what you're going to say next. As much as you can, listen first before you prepare something you're going to say. Filtering is, you don't listen to the whole story or the whole picture. You just listen to what is important for you, or you think is important thing to you. So this is also a problem. Filtering, judging, you're trying to find who's wrong and who's right, who's good and who's bad. Daydreaming, Lots of people, especially with ADHD, their mind drift away when they talk to someone. They drift away, you know, in fantasy, or they think about something in the past, or something they worry about the future, something like that. Advising, some people, instead of listening, they advise. They want to give. They want to find a solution. As much as we can. Yeah, sometimes we need, you know, to give a solution for others, but most of the time, especially like if you are a doctor listening to other people, you're thinking all the time what would be the solution. But if you are a counselor sitting with someone, if you try to find the solution, this is not, will not be a good counseling session. So when you have a conversation with someone, try to listen more than advising. Arguing, some people will start arguing just for arguing. Some people will try to prove that they are right all the time, so they resist listening. Derailing means like you shift the topics, you switch topics to something else, and it changes the subject. Placating means agreeing too quickly. So someone is trying to say something, and then you ask them, okay, what do you want? What do you want? Oh, this is what you want? Okay, well, let's do it, without listening. Okay, that's good. You agree too quick. This is good. You agree. But the problem, again, some people they want someone to listen to them more than just agreeing too quickly. So this is, what is this? So these are barriers to listening, because listening is important part of practicing Dear Man. So let's go back to Dear Man. So again, D, describe specifically what you want. E, express what you want using I statement. I feel scared, I worry, I care about you, something like this. A, ask. When you ask, use a softening statement. Would you mind? Could you please? Reinforce. It means reward by appreciation, or reward showing them it's gonna be a win-win situation. M means mindful. Stay mindful, you know, keep focus on your objectives. Some people, when they have overwhelming emotions, they just lose focus and they get distracted, and maybe the other person will use this distraction to change the topics. But don't get distracted and stay and practice broken record. Like, keep saying and asking for what you want and express your opinion. And again, you know, try to be gentle as much as you can, you know, don't be forceful. Ignore if the other person started to, you know, use aggressive attitude. Aggressive attitudes, the attitudes that we were talking about last time. Trying to threaten you or trying to change the subject, just ignore this attitude. So M, stay mindful on the subject or focus on your objectives. Another A is appear confident. You know, if you appear confident, this is the more likely you're gonna get what you want. You know, confident in your voice, confident in facial expression, confident on body language, confident with the eye contact. And again, you can practice what you're gonna say before having a discussion with someone. This will give you more confidence. The same with an interview. I'm sure like if you have an important interview, you're gonna practice with others the skills for an interview. Negotiate. You know, when you enter into a conversation, when you get into a conversation with someone, be ready from the beginning for negotiation and the other solution. Don't get stuck on one solution. Be willing to address other alternative. Win-win situation, again, is the right way for finding a solution. And always ask, what do you think we can do? How can we solve this problem? Like this question will make it easy to come up with alternative. And next session, we're going to talk about how to come up with alternative. For example, let's say your girlfriend wants to to go on a vacation for 10 days and you want to go on a vacation for 5 days. How about we split the difference? How about we go on for 7 days? Your boyfriend wants to have dinner, but you want to watch a movie. How about you watch a movie together and then have dinner? So you're trying to come negotiate and come with compromises. Again, I want you to memorize it, so I keep repeating myself. D, describe. How, be specific. E, express. How, using I statement. A, assert or ask. How, with a softening statement. Could you please? Or reinforce. How, showing them appreciation or showing them what benefits they're going to get out of solving the problem. M, be mindful. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted and don't let other people distract you from your objectives. A, appear confident. Your voice, your facial tone, don't be hesitant. And negotiate. Be ready for alternative even before the discussion. And again, you need to practice this. And one of our exercise today is to practice. You tell us about the situation where you need to practice, dear man. You tell me how you're going to describe it, how you're going to express what you want, how you're going to assert, how you're going to reinforce, how you're going to be mindful and what you're going to do, how you're going to appear confident and how you're going to negotiate. Another thing with conflict resolution and addressing, problems is always think about, like we call this helicopter view. When there is a situation, like try to think like what I'm reacting to, like what does this situation mean for me? So you look at your side and then try to see what other side look at the problem. What do they want from this problem or from this discussion? So you see your side and the other people's side. And also if there is a third party outsider, someone outside the problem, not emotionally engaged in the problem, how you would solve this problem, how you would think about this problem. And then at the end, your wise mind, you need to balance, the situation with what you want and what other people want. And if someone outside will gonna look at the situation. So again, before file a divorce and before you break up with your girlfriend or boyfriend and before you leave your job and before fighting or having an argument with a friend, ask yourself what do you think they want, and ask yourself what you really want. And if someone outside, how he gonna look at the situation, and then how we gonna balance the whole thing. Okay. And again, if it is a big problem, you don't know what to do, always consult with others, ask for help, and from a professional, from a friend, from a family member, because sometimes when it is a big problem, we get stuck and we don't know not just what others want, we don't even know what we want and what is good for us. To be honest, I came from a different culture and different background. I see that the Western culture is very isolated, and very individualistic and very, independent. Like everyone tended to feel like he want to be independent, which is good, but independence and the dependence on others needs to be balanced. And with dialectical behavior therapy, we need to learn the balance between these stuff. Should I be private all the time or open up to others all the time? Don't be private all the time, like balance. And should I just make major decisions just by myself because I have the skills to make a good decision and I am smart and I have a university degree? No, you are not. Sometimes a big decision you need to consult and you need to share with others and ask others, someone you trust. This one is good too, so we finished dear man, okay, but you need to also to ask yourself, how urgent is what I wanna, like something you ask for, how urgent is my need, and how vulnerable is my relationship. If something is urgent, like high urgency, you give it a score 10 out of 10. Something is very urgent, and your relationship is 10 out of 10, perfect, stable, not vulnerable at all. So again, you have a situation, it's very urgent, high urgency, and your relationship is very stable. That's fine. You can push, you can force, you can be more forceful. If the scores is very high from this equation, you can force. But if you are in a relationship, it's very vulnerable, and that what you ask for is not that urgent, you can wait. Okay, we can wait until this relationship is more stable. So at this situation, you can be more gentle. So you try to balance. Again, I don't want you to feel, oh, Dr. Attalla said we need to ask for what we want, and we're gonna have rights, and we want to practice these rights. Again, sometimes we need to be more forceful or more gentle, depending on the situation. For those who have social anxiety, this exercise is good. This is not for today exercise, but this is something to practice at home and at work. If you have this tendency to not ask for what you want, you can practice asking. I know at the beginning it feels bad, but then once you get used to it, it's gonna feel okay. So when you go on the street, you can ask for direction. Okay, don't be shy, embarrassed, feel that you don't deserve asking. Just ask. In a store, when you go buy something, you can ask for a return policy. You can ask the people who work at the store, do you have different color for this shirt? Do you have, do you think when you are in fitting room, you ask them, do these color match or go together? So it's just a good practice, especially for those who have social phobia. At work, ask for help. When you need help, ask to extend the deadline. If you need extra time. Lots of my patient, when they are doing university, like the university degree, or applying for masters or something that's gonna need lots of study and lots of assignment and exams and stuff, I tell them you need to apply for accommodation. You have ADHD, or you have an anxiety, you have this stuff. We need extra time for exams. We need extra time. But lots of them, like, they are reluctant. They feel like they don't have the right to ask. Even there is an accommodation, section in their application. Do you need accommodation? And as a doctor would sign the accommodation, and you don't know why they don't want to ask for something. Maybe fear of rejection, maybe so many things. But anyway, you need to practice asking. Ask your family for more time, for a ride, for a favor. Ask your teacher for advice. Like, this is good thing to practice. So this is the end of our session today. We have 2 exercises. Okay. What legitimate rights you are missing or you need to practice? I told you have the right for your opinion. You have the right to ask for what you want. You have the right to not respond to people. You have the right not to take responsibility for things that you didn't do, but again, with moderation. Tell us about a situation. That's number 2. Tell us about situation where you can practice dear man. This is exercise number 2. And again, remember, this is dear man. I'm going to say one word about each strategy. So describe means be specific. Express means use I statement. So you're gonna tell me what is the situation you're struggling with, and you're gonna tell me how you're gonna use I statement. You know, every situation will be I statement is different. Ask with softening statement, like could you please reinforce, means show them appreciation that the end result will be important for you and your life and your career. Be mindful, don't get distracted. So tell us if you are in a relationship and you always, or the other side, try to distract you all the time. Appear confident. Tell us which area you want to work on, your voice or facial expression or the way you talk, or negotiate like is to find solution. And be open to alternative. So this is the exercise for today. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to think about these questions, and Brooklyn will run the discussion.